Thank you for your time today. I'd like to use the whiteboard instead of slides to talk about why the new EMC CX4 release is the best option for mid-tier storage. I'd like to start by sharing with you some of the common challenges we see in the market and find out if you share them. Performance. All of our customers want outstanding performance and uptime. However, various vendors define good differently based on their product's capabilities. EMC has unique performance capabilities that we'll discuss. Tiering and scalability. Organizations are launching tiering initiatives to align storage assets with application profiles and SLAs. They'll also use these projects to consolidate and cut costs. You need to scale up and down to support your Tier 0 needs as well as lower tier apps. Green it. Everybody wants consolidation and power savings. Storage is no exception. Can the solution put up the big numbers in terms of percentage power savings? And can it support more apps with fewer arrays? Time management and ease of use. Finally, customers want solutions to reduce overhead from a management perspective, freeing people up for more strategic initiatives. Organizations evaluating storage solutions have a number of options. You can actually group many of these vendor solutions into what I'll call typical approaches, and there are some particular issues and challenges in each group. The first approach is what I'd like to call one-size-fits-all. The vendor will try to offer a single platform for all of your storage needs. There are some notable issues and limitations with this approach. Performance scalability. With one technology across many protocols, from FC SAN to NAS, you sacrifice performance and scalability because you can't optimize for specific application requirements. Imagine you are an accomplished athlete playing multiple sports. Would you use basketball shoes to play football, baseball, and golf? Of course not. You need the right footwear depending on what you're playing. Efficiency. Efficiency is a problem here because, again, you lack power-saving technologies that apply to different tiers of storage. You won't maximize efficiencies and deliver the savings for green IT projects. Utilization falls under the category of efficiency. Using these vendors' own usable capacity calculators, you see utilization rates in the 30% range. Another typical approach we see out there is the "it's just storage" approach. These tend to be lower-end solutions that offer an appealing price point and the appearance of simplicity by controlling storage from an application view. There are some things you give up, however, in addition to losing all the efficiency and performance issues of the one-size-fits-all model. Flexibility. First, you'll give up flexibility in a number of areas. These solutions tend to only offer ISCSI support. And adding new capacity requires adding an entire array and new software purchases. Availability. What you'll also see in these solutions is lower availability ratings, unlike, for example, IDC's coveted 5 nines validation. Data protection. Finally, you'll have less robust data protection, especially in the area of snapshots. Besides lacking application-specific snapshots and protected restores, once you roll back to a selected snapshot, you lose all previous snapshots. Last but not least, you have the package deal. Here you have large hardware, software, and service vendors that will try to bundle in storage with purchases of other types of technology and services. Not an accessory. An analogy for this is, if you go to Nordstrom and you buy a couple of suits, they may throw in a belt, some socks, and a few ties. At first, that sounds great, but when you get home, you open the bag and find they didn't give you the Argyle socks and the Italian silk ties. You may have a matching suit, but you don't look your best. Power and efficiency. As with the other approaches we've discussed, these vendors lack power-saving features such as flash drives and lower-power SATA drives. And because they use battery backups, you could have long outages. VI support. What you'll see with these type of solutions is a lack of support and integration with virtual infrastructure solutions, specifically VMware. If you're using Site Recovery Manager for VMware, you'll most likely lack integration. For many customers, lack of VMware integration is a deal killer right out of the gate. What I'd like to do now is turn to why EMC takes a completely different approach and will dramatically reduce your risk when selecting a storage vendor. First, let me give you some pretty impressive data points on why customers choose us over these other approaches. We have over 300,000 shipped units of our mid-tier Clarion solution since 2002. We are number one in mid-tier market share in 2008 with 31%. The next nearest share percentage is the other category. It's not even another vendor. The others are in the very low teens or in the single digits. The approaches we've discussed are mostly below 5%. Another very telling statistic, EMC has actually picked up 21% share since 2002, which is a sign of increased market adoption and validation. And finally, Gartner has put EMC in the leadership quadrant for mid-tier solutions, an industry benchmark for visionaries and leaders in this market segment. Gartner considers EMC the leader, based not only on its strong market position, but also on its vision of intelligent storage's future. To continue this leadership, EMC has introduced the latest release of the market-leading mid-tier Clarion line, the CX4. As I discuss the unique advantages of the CX4, I'll be quoting a recent IDC report on the CX4. Whereas previous Clarion releases were just upgrades, IDC says the new CX4 represents one of the most aggressive architecture changes EMC has announced for a long time. IDC goes on to say the market is looking for solutions to last 5 to 7 years versus 3 to 5 years, and that customers want a flexible architecture to grow with their business. So the CX4 is a game changer, but it's also our approach to your business that differentiates us. Based on your application mix, we won't say you need ISCSI or you need fiber channel. We'll do an in-depth performance assessment specific to your key applications. For example, we'll look at Exchange and give you detailed I/O stats and other metrics to determine what you need today and as you grow. This will future-proof you against risk. We aren't a one-size-fits-all approach or an accessory approach or an it's-just-storage approach. This assessment takes only an incremental amount of time, but can pay off big down the road. The key innovations of the CX4 are dramatic. The most important is the new UltraFlex architecture. UltraFlex is a modular connectivity design delivering flexibility, expansion, and support for future technologies supported by a 64-bit OS and multi-core processors. CX4 offers the flexibility of dual protocol support with both FC and ISCSI. UltraFlex also enables online expansion via hot pluggable I/O modules. Now you can determine the right mix of protocols to support evolving requirements. When more FC or ISCSI is needed, it can be easily and non-disruptively added. UltraFlex also accommodates future technologies. This future-ready feature allows you to invest in CX4 today while knowing you can support new technologies such as 8GB SFC and 10GB/S ISCSI. According to the same IDC report, UltraFlex is an innovative way for clients to protect the investment in their storage systems without needing to do forklift upgrades. CX4 also has virtual provisioning, simplifying and accelerating processes and delivering just-in-time capacity and better utilization. You can set thresholds with automated alerts to adjust virtual storage pools. There are a number of other game changers we should talk about. EMC is the first and only vendor to introduce Tier 0 flash drives for the mid-range. These are not flash drives for consumer electronics. They are enterprise-class flash drives providing ultra-fast read-write performance and response time for I/O-intensive apps. Clarion can now offer Tier O storage for breakthrough performance, providing 30 times the I/O FC drive with less than 1 ms response times. Flash drives are great for apps with demanding I/O requirements such as business intelligence. flash drives are more energy efficient, 38% less energy required per TB and 98% less per IOP, helping you meet your green IT projects. And they are more reliable with fewer moving parts. This means higher availability and much better service levels. Again, IDC views this as a winner and that it will challenge other solid-state-based system vendors and open new opportunities for EMC. And finally, with the CX4 EMC is taking what IDC calls an innovative approach to using low-power SATA2 drives that IDC says takes over 30% less power than traditional drives. These lower RPM drives, together with the new spin-down feature that puts lower-tier storage drives on pause when not being used, will again provide true green IT benefits. Of course, many of our customers and prospects ask about VMware support, especially given our acquisition of VMware. Although VMware remains a separate entity and is storage agnostic, EMC has by far the best integration and support. The details are probably best kept for a separate discussion, but we have across-the-board VMware integration in the areas of end-to-end monitoring, backup made for VMware, integrated VM restore, application-specific VMware support, Exchange, etc., end-to-end QoS integration. And the numbers don't lie. In 2006, our VMware market share was 34%. In 2008, it was 43%, again with the nearest competitor being Other with 19%, according to IDC. Remember those vendors with the one-size-fits-all approach? They are in the 4% market range. The benefit to you is by leveraging your investment in VMware and reducing risk of your VI projects. The CX4 launch has been a stunning success for EMC. I'd like to share a couple of examples of recent wins over the 3 typical approach categories we covered. First, a big win we recently had against one of those one-size-fits-all vendors. One of the major banks in the island of Mauritius, with one of the fastest-growing economies and highest GDP in the African subcontinent, and banking is a key sector. Originally a CX3 opportunity, the new IT Ops manager from Australia called for a bank-wide tech refresh. He had a tight relationship with the other vendor, so this was an uphill battle. This win came down to superior performance, availability, and a reputation for uptime. The new CX4 features also helped. Ultimately, it was hard for the new ops manager to make a case. The next example is one of the fastest-growing retail travel agencies in the Southeast. They were running a typical range of apps on VMware. They got the ISCSI-only pitch, but they wanted the multi-protocol solution to reduce risk. Prior to CX4 availability, EMC was pitching the CX3, and the customer said, "Why are you quoting me CX3? I want CX4." So they waited. Finally, a big win versus the package deal approach. This was the market-leading healthcare ISV. They were bringing an Oracle app back in-house and had nearly signed with the competition when the CX4 came out. A very large transaction was done within a couple of months. So, to wrap up, with CX4, you'll address a lot of the limitations we discussed with the typical approaches. You'll get better performance and scalability with flash drives and virtual provisioning, and with the option of moving to fiber channel when you need it. Efficiency versus critical, which across the board will be dramatically better for power savings. Whether it's via flash drives, SATA2 drives, or spin-down, you'll deliver on green IT much more with these other solutions. Availability will be better with our virtual provisioning and not having to add whole new arrays when capacity demands increase. Data protection is superior with snapshot flexibility and multiple rollback options. VI support, as we discussed, is far superior than anything out there. And finally, we don't view storage as an accessory. That's our heritage, as the market share numbers prove. So, if we come back to the high-level challenges, you'll ensure high levels of performance for demanding business apps. You'll have flexibility to support multiple tiers with one platform, with the ability to scale as your business grows. You will support green IT and provide your CIO with real metrics on power savings. And your overall management load will be reduced by things like virtual provisioning and much higher availability, less fires to fight. Of all the things we've discussed today, which resonate the most with you, and what would you like to learn more about? Thanks for your time.